Welcome to New Gameplay. Today, I am Kyle Hilliard here with Marcus Stewart. What's up, Marcus?
Hey, what's going on?
Not much. We are looking at Outcast, A New Beginning, a game that is coming out in March, early March. I swear I have the release date ready to go. Dang it, I swear I had it, the exact date. But let's just say March. It's coming out in March. And this
Hey, you
game...
want to know what it is? It's March 15th.
Do you have it ready? There we go. See, this is why I call on you to do these kind of videos, Marcus, because you're prepared. You know every release date for every game ever.
Yes.
But okay, so this is Outcast: A New Beginning, formerly known as Outcast 2: A New Beginning, but they dropped the 2. And this is in fact a sequel to a game that came out in 1999.
Oof.
And it was maybe not the first, but like a very early open world game. The original Outcast, which was released exclusively on PC, predates Grand Theft Auto 3 by like 2 years.
Okay.
And which is like interesting and cool. And the original really is this like I was really not familiar with it at all. It's one that bypassed me when it came out. I was not playing PC games at the time. So like when I went to go play this game and learn about it, I was like, that was me sort of going and learning about the original game, which was, a 90s ass action game, where you end up on this alien planet and you're trying to sort of help the native folks. It's Avatar before Avatar, honestly.
Okay.
And you're playing as a character named Cutter Slade.
Yeah, that name combined with the term Gork Eruption definitely sounds like 1999.
Yeah, and this is... So, I mean, they had planned a sequel, because I guess the first one did well enough. Like I said, it was a PC exclusive, but it found its fans. And a sequel was in the works, but it kind of got, dropped or canceled or, for whatever reason, things happen in development. And this team now has picked it back up. A lot of the members, the developers of the original game are back on board to work on the sequel.
Okay.
So it's kind of got a funky sort of development story in that way. It's like this sort of niche game, but one that was like undeniably ahead of the curve, right? It was doing open world before open world became really popular. And now they're bringing it back. And I've played the first couple hours here. I think I played about like first 2 or 3 hours, and then this is sort of just a moment that I pulled from my capture of the game that I wanted to show off, where I'm not even doing missions. I'm just sort of running around doing these little side quest things in this crazy alien world.
Okay. Do you know what? Because I saw you flying around on your jetpack, and it looked like you had sort of a wingsuit earlier in the video. Are those abilities new to this game? Like, I can't imagine like having like a super robust jetpack mechanic in 1999. But I mean, was that something that was present in the original, or is that a brand new to this?
I think the original did have some limited flight capabilities, but that was the thing. I sat down with the publisher for the sequel here is THQ Nordic, and they sat me down and like just sort of played the game for me, and that was the thing that really struck me as being like, oh, this is interesting. Like, is that you have this jetpack that gives you a pretty impressive amount of maneuverability. Like, I actually considered as I was playing, I was like, oh, do we want to show off, like, story moments or missions or anything? And that stuff is, potentially interesting, but it's a lot of, like, talking to aliens with this made-up jargon about, how they need your help. And then the big thing is and this is, like, totally, by design because they expect a lot of people to have not played the original game, is the character Cutter Slade is completely amnesiac. Like, he has a daughter, and he learns it in the first hour of the game. He's like, I have a daughter? So,
is that how you learned it? You had a daughter?
That's right. I was an adult man on an alien planet, thousands of miles from home, millions perhaps.
Okay.
I was like, oh my God, I'm a dad.
See, you can relate to Cutter Slade's plight.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, as you see there, like, I did have to unlock that. Like, you have to find the jetpack, and then the first thing you have are like these big double jumps. And then, as you progress, it's a video game after all, you unlock advanced flight abilities. Like, I have one where I can just sort of fly low to the ground, like, forever, basically. It's like the equivalent of, like, sprint, as I just, like, fly really low to the ground. And then right before I started recording, I had unlocked that ability to sort of have wings and fly. And I love that kind of stuff in video games. Like that when they showed that to me, I was like, okay, I'm interested now. Like you've got my attention, because like I love the idea of sort of just being able to fly around an alien planet with a jetpack. Like, that seems cool to me.
Oh yeah, I wish there were better games with jetpacks. I always think of stuff like Dark Void, which was like okay, if anyone remembers that game. And then of course there was Anthem, where like the flying was cool, but it was like arbitrarily limited, where it's like, don't have too much fun. And I've always wanted a game where it looks like, from what I can tell from here, it looks a lot more like, it looks like they are encouraging it in a way where they're like, yeah, just get out there and fly around and have fun, which that is exciting.
They don't give it to you from the beginning, but it is very much like you just saw what I was just doing. I was just like, instead of sprinting, I'm just jetpacking around. And then, like, I don't even think there's really much energy consumption for using the wings either. I think you can, as long as you can get up high and take a flying leap and you have the wings unlocked, I don't think you even have like a Breath of the Wild style stamina gauge even. Really.
I was going to ask if that blue bar on your sort of like backpack was your like gas meter or even your health, because I didn't know if they were doing sort of a Dead Space sort of thing. But I see you have like some sort of armor indicator in the upper left corner, so maybe that's what that is. But
yeah, I mean, that tells you how many times you can like do that double jump. But in terms of just that straight flying that I'm doing there, it's not really connected to a gauge.
Okay. Also,
which is cool.
Coming off of Spider-Man 2, seeing another wingsuit game is nice.
Yeah.
Does it feel as good as that or close to it?
It feels okay. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but this is very much before we started recording. I was like, this feels very much like a AA game.
Okay.
And I say that with kindness and compassion. Like, I like that sort of zone for games.
Yeah, I miss AA games. Like,
yeah. Like, it's not, we're not talking Spider-Man levels here of sort of shine and budget. But in terms of just like, I'm playing 3 hours, putting you on an alien planet as this dad who doesn't remember anything and finds a jetpack. Like, I'm kind of intrigued, Like, I like a game where you can just fly around. I mean, like, I was kind of ultimately underwhelmed by the Avatar video game last year. Like, it was one of those things I haven't really given it a proper shot. I don't want to say, like, I didn't like that game, because I really only played it for, like, an hour or two. But what I wanted from that game is, like, I just want to run around Pandora as, like, a Na'vi. And I didn't get that right away. Where this, I kind of am getting that pretty quickly. Like, where I'm like, I'm just a dude running around an alien planet, and I can do all kinds of weird flight abilities and stuff like that. It's cool.
Yeah. No, I mean, I see the appeal, and I can almost see, like, definitely the Avatar comparison, just of sort of, like, the big open world alien planet and just watching all the weird flora and fauna that you've already passed by. Like, I'm a sucker for that stuff, too. Like, just throw me in a weird, almost like sandbox and just let me poke around and find stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and there's the aliens that you meet have their own language, and there's a lot of, like, jargon that they're sort of throwing at you. And Cutter Slade is, and the developer said this to me as well. They're like, he's like a 90s action hero. Like, we're not updating him that much, so he's just kind of like, whoa, I don't know what to do with all this information. He has a lot of one-liners and stuff like that.
I mean, they kept the name, which, like, have you asked, like, is that his government name, Cutter Slade? Like, there's no way that's his real name, right? Like, that's a name he gave himself after he was picked on in school for being named, like, Eugene or something. Yeah, so he was overcompensating with the new name.
I mean, with the amnesia situation, I mean, maybe that's just what he came up with right out of the gate. He's like, I need a cool name, Cutter Slade.
Like, he had to cut himself out of something, and he's like, Cutter, yeah, that's my name.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a good sort of conceit for, why you don't need to play the original, and also why, you don't know anything about this planet, so you're learning at the same time as Cutter here.
Yeah, you found like a weird portal to Outworld? What is that?
It's it's a fast travel.
Oh, gotcha. Same thing.
Yeah, same thing exactly. But the big thing I wanted to show off, like, because I worry about the story, I worry about the sort of characterizations, I in terms of them being like interesting and like pulling me through, because it is, when you're doing missions and stuff, it's a lot of just sort of talking to weird aliens and them saying a lot of words I don't understand that get highlighted on the bottom of the screen, and I'm being like, I guess if I talk to these people long enough, eventually I'll know what these words mean. It's like, they have this whole sort of religion and government system, which is like, seems really well thought out and has the potential to be interesting. But
okay.
What I wanted to show off was just like, look, I have a jetpack in a crazy looking alien world. Isn't that fun? Because that's the thing that gets you in the door. That's what got me in the door, at least.
Yeah, how was the gunplay? You did a bit of combat earlier. How does that feel?
It's okay. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. It's nothing like, you pull the left trigger to zoom in and aim, and it's not trying anything too fancy, and in that way, it's locked into something pretty familiar that works pretty well.
Okay.
I haven't really run into a lot of the shooting hasn't felt terrible. The shooting hasn't sort of blown me away either.
Right. It gets the job done.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm curious to keep an eye on this game. It's like I want to see if like if it has something special about it. If it's like it has the potential to be this, like the original, maybe a bit of this like cult classic that might be a little rough around the edge of like, it's like, yeah, you're not, maybe it doesn't play or feel as good as these other games, but like if you give it a chance, there's something special here. Like, that's my hope for this game, and more time with the game will tell if it's able to achieve that or not. But in terms of like first impression, I'm impressed. I like what I see. I like what I've been playing.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. This game wasn't really on my radar necessarily, but and I never played the original, so I don't have just that.
Same. I haven't touched it. Yeah.
Yeah, but this makes me more interested in watching this, and I think I want to kind of check it out, if for no other reason than to sort of fill a gap in my gaming knowledge.
Yeah, and it's just a nice opportunity. It made me want to go research the original some more, because I was surprised to learn it's like, oh no, open world game that predated Grand Theft Auto 3. Like, that's impressive. Not a lot of games can claim that, truly.
Yeah. I was thinking of the original Driver as one of my early sort of like
yeah.
proto open world games that I had played before GTA 3. Did that thing just fall out the sky?
Yeah, these you're fighting these waves against these like weird plants, and it kind of drops enemies on you. Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed the wild, like, not a fan of Cutter Slave. They keep attacking you.
Yeah, I think the story conceit here is these they're like little eruptions from the ground that are attracting animals and making them go crazy. So
please, Kyle, say that it's a Gork eruption.
I'm sorry, the Gork eruptions.
Yes.
It's like basically, if you will, a zit on the planet Adelpha, which is where this game takes place.
Yeah, I thought Comcast bought Adelpha way back in the day.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah, that does sound familiar. Yeah, this is another thing I did quite a bit of as I played, is like using double jumps to sort of just climb mountains and stuff like that. And it looks like as you progress, you can like get more and more jumps, so to speak.
What's that thing?
So I mean, it's all about just moving through the world, right? It's like you have like you can use the jetpack in crazy ways, and you can fly, and you can just jump, a ton of times up in the air. Like that I love that kind of stuff. I'm into those kind of movement mechanics. So.
Same.
Yeah. But anyway, that's Outcast: A New Beginning, which we've learned together, Marcus, from you, is that it comes out March 15th. I believe it's coming to modern consoles as well as PC this time. So hope maybe some more people will find this game now, because it won't just be stuck on 1999 PCs as the original was.
Yeah, we've all got this laid around.
That's right. But yeah, thanks, Marcus, for helping me take a look at this game. Outcast, A New Beginning.